Hi everybody. The day was getting away from me and I hadn't done Hard Time Friday yet. So it's 1:30 and I've been thinking about this subject a lot, and it's kind of crazy out there, isn't it, with the hard times everybody's having, with gas, but the gas prices are coming down here. But the food costs, the cost of everything, I don't need to tell you that, right? You already know. So let's talk about some things, and folks that are my age, maybe you'll remember, and maybe you still remember if you're not my age. I am 65, soon to be 66. Oh, not looking forward to that. I don't want to be old. I want to be young. But anyways, can't change what it is. I'm just thankful to be alive and here every day. How many of you remember drinking Kool-Aid? I mean, we all thought Kool-Aid was a real big thing, right? Well, today, some of the kids drink Kool-Aid. My grandkids drank Kool-Aid because that's all we had, and that's what I brought them up with. If they had soda, that was a big treat. I guess some people call it pop down south. And what I used to do with my kids is I used to save sticks, but now you can find, I'm looking if I have any, but I don't, any craft sticks. But we used to take little Dixie cups or cups of any size, and we used to make the Kool-Aid. Then we poured it in, then we put the stick in, and or we'd take ice cube trays and we would put a toothpick in. That was a real big treat. We thought that was a real big hoot if we had that. Today, I don't think folks give their children that. And you don't have to have the sugar. There is sugar-free Kool-Aid out there. That's a very inexpensive drink. A lot more inexpensive than drinking soda or Powerades or Gatorade or any of that other stuff. I mean, you can make 2 quarts of sugar-free for around 20-25 cents. Now, if you've got a family of children and you want to give them something different to drink besides water, but Kool-Aid was a treat for us. My grandmother brought me up drinking water until I was in high school. And when I was in high school, I got 1 soda, 1 nickel bag of candy, and a bag of potato chips. And that was my treat. I could eat it all in one day. I could divide it up. Well, I'll tell you what I did, because it was when I was older. I used to watch American Bandstand on Saturdays, and I used to dance and sing, and I used to have a little party for myself and had all those treats. But, people don't do that today. I mean, for 25 cents, and you've got 2 or 3 kids and you just want to give them a treat. That or water. What's wrong with water? Water's great for you. So I just wanted to touch base on that. Another thing is, Estelle, I'm sorry about the chicken soup. Estelle talked to me about making some chicken soup, or liking chicken soup. Well, I was going to make some today, and we were going to do a video, and my whole video was going to be on that. But I went to the freezer, and Ray didn't tell me he took the last family pack of chicken that we got from the butcher, and I used it. That was a couple of days ago. So I'm like, he didn't tell me, because I put up a big butcher shop order, but I didn't do a lot of chicken this time. So I called my butcher today to get more chicken, and they said, sorry, his day off. So I'm like, oh, great. Sorry, no chicken soup this week. And then I said, well, maybe I could make some dehydrate some carrots and celery and make a soup mix with that. You can make a beautiful soup mix with dried celery and dried carrots, basil, oregano, garlic. Put it in a jar. Then you just add the chicken, and you can add, and you put 2 bouillons, I believe, in it. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. But that's a wonderful idea. I'm going to tell you what I do. At the end of the season, I take my tomatoes, my celery, my carrots, my peppers, whatever I have, I've been putting in the freezer or dehydrating them. I've been dehydrating like the dehydrating queen this year. And I will make my own soup mix, and I'll put it in a quart or a half-gallon jar. So when I want soup, all I gotta do is add the chicken or beef, whatever I choose to make, or just plain vegetable. That's another way you can save. And if you don't can, I understand. You know, it takes money for the jars, it takes money for the lids. I couldn't believe how much the lids are gone up to. I don't use Tattler lids, I use the regular lids. Some people say you can use them over. I'm from the old school. I won't use them over. I was taught never to use a lid over. They say, well, just open it real gentle. I don't care how gentle you are. If there was an itty bitty leak, you've ruined the whole jar. That's a lot of food. So I just wanted to touch on that, Estelle. I'm sorry. I'll get to it. It's on my list. And my list is like this. I wanted to touch too on eggs. Now, we're used to buying eggs really cheap and or inexpensive. I like to use the word inexpensive. And a lot of people have their own chickens, but grain is very, very expensive. You're looking at $13 to $15 for a bag of grain now for chickens, depending how many you have. We don't have chickens anymore. We used to have everything, chicken, ducks, the whole 9 yards. But I buy mine by the case from Walmart. When I started buying it back a ways ago, it was $6 a case. Well, the eggs today, there's 60 of them in a case, are $15.99. Excuse me. So that's about 20 cents or so an egg. Well, you stop and figure, 20 cents an egg. You've got 3 or 4 kids. Well, that's not too bad. You could give them, you could make deviled eggs. You could do a hard-boiled egg. You could make egg sandwiches with some mayo if you have it. You can get a quart of a store brand mayo for like $2, or you can make your own mayo. That's another inexpensive thing. You all could eat it as a sandwich and have something to go with it. I was just sitting here thinking back when I had my kids in the 70s, I would give them peanut butter and crackers. I would give them celery. I'd give them carrot sticks. You can get a pound of carrots for 99 cents. So you can eat healthy as long as you're not gorging in it. You know, you can feed your children and yourself. Let's see. I had to put a bunch of notes here because I can't remember everything. My brain's scattered today all over the place. How many of you remember cream chipped beef? That's another good one. Ray and I sometimes have it. My parents have it. And what it was beef. And sometimes you got it from the government. We never got it from the government, but sometimes folks got it from the government. And you would make a white sauce, and then you would serve it over toast. And the guys in the military would call it SOS. I'm not going to say the word, but that's what they would call it. And that was real big back then. Hey, you got the men working hard, and you don't have a lot of money or a lot of food. Chipped beef would go a long ways. Yes, it would. I'm just trying to talk on different things this week. And how many remember Salisbury steak, which is a very popular meal today? You can make it so many different ways. You can eat it with mashed potatoes. You can eat it with peas. You put gravy on it. You can make the gravy sauce with so many different things, onions, garlic, mushrooms, and the list goes on. I just wanted to touch today, Hard Times Fridays, on food and try to give you some ideas. Now, if you have anything related to food and you would like me to answer a question or try to make, please let me know. And let me know in this conversation under comments so I don't lose it, so I'll be able to find it. Because I will. I'll do the best I can to help you all with whatever you got and whatever questions, and if I can give answers. And if anybody wants to chime in on what you used to eat and what your parents brought you up with, please do so. And I've told you this many times before. Every week, my grandmother, at least 6 days a week, every week would have the same thing. We'd have meatloaf, spaghetti, but spaghetti was with stewed tomatoes. I never knew what spaghetti sauce was growing up until I was in high school, or actually probably really out of high school. I didn't know, because back in my day, that's the way my grandparents and family had it. We used to have liver and onions. That was something else. That still today, I saw at our local grocer, you could buy 3 packages of liver. They were frozen, and it was $4 and something. And you could get 3 meals. 2 people could get 3 meals out of that. That's not a bad price. Buy your onions in a 3-pound bag or a 4-pound bag. Watch them when they go on sale. Or just buy the dehydrated onions. That makes a wonderful meal. I'm trying to think what, and she made meatloaf. And she always made it with crackers and milk. I mean, every week we knew what we were going to have, except for Sunday. For Sunday, we never knew. My grandfather would surprise us. Most of the time, my grandfather did the grocery shopping because he worked for a produce company when I was young. We used to have all the fruit and all the produce we wanted. And after they went out of business several years later, he worked in a grocery store, and he was in the produce section. So he just shopped at the grocery store, and my grandmother or himself would look and see what we needed for groceries, and he would buy them. He was the shopper. And we never knew because our meat always came from the butcher shop where he worked. So a lot of times my grandmother put this big feast on. She had her children that came, and my one special aunt. The boys and the girls came most of the time, at least 2 or 3. Not everyone the same every week. They would be alternated, and we never knew how many we were going to have for Sunday. But we had a huge dinner, and my grandmother did it all herself. The baking, everything, making the meal, and the dishes. My grandmother never wanted me to help. She always wanted me to observe what she was doing. She'd say, "No, Brenda, you watch everything I do." Never depended on how many people were there. She always did the dishes. That was her way. That was my grandmother's way. So I hope you enjoyed this series this week, and I'm going to end it on that note. You never know what I'm going to have for hard times. And if you'd like to chime in, please do so. Have a great day. God bless. We will see you tomorrow if God's willing. Bye now.